Hello, everybody. Today we'll be talking about the psychology of emotional validation, and this topic is actually from an observation I made from the book of Job, Job chapter 6, where Job answered his friend who was criticizing him and saying a lot of terrible things about him. Not necessarily terrible things about him. He was in a way indirectly trying to say that Job was a sinner and Job was the reason for his troubles. And Job made a statement in Job chapter 6, verse 2 and 3. So let me read it out to you. He said, if my sadness would be weighed and my troubles be put in the scale, they would be heavier than all the sands of the sea. Straight to verse 26, it says, do you think your words are convincing when you disregard my cry of desperation? Now, it has been established in Job chapter 6, 2 and 3 that he was heavy. He was trying to describe his grief, that if they were weighed, that it would be heavier than the sand of the seashore and all that. Now, towards the ending of that chapter, and that is what inspired this conversation, is he said, do you think your words are convincing when you disregard my cry of desperation? Do you think your words are convincing? I want us to pause and think about it for a moment. Job said to his friend, do you think your words are convincing when you disregard the cry of my desperation? Most of the time, a lot of us do that a lot, and even myself, I'm learning recently that so people sometimes don't need solutions. Of course, everybody wants solutions, but at some point in time of their distress, they don't want to hear some advice. They don't need your advice. Sometimes they don't know it, right? So, for example, you walk up to somebody and you begin to tell them how your friend has been behaving of recent time, that you don't like it, and you begin to tell them the things that transpired between you and that your friend, and they begin to try to bring up solutions on how you can make it good, how you can fix it, how you can make it better. Like, they begin to tell you things like what you ought to do, what you not ought to do, and you are saying, no, I did this, I tried, and they say you would have done this. You say, no, I tried to do it this way, I'm trying my best. You try to convince them how you are trying your best, and they begin to see loopholes in what you are saying and begin to try to correct it. And before you know it, it begins to look as though it's turning into a little argument, and you just wear yourself out, you just wear each other out, and you see that at the end of the day, the person has not helped you, and the person doesn't know what you want. The person is tired now, like, wait, I thought you came to me for advice. What is happening? And deep down, you don't know that at that point in time, you don't need any form of advice. What you need is that you want to be seen. That is what it was. That's what's going on there. You just want to be seen. You want to be heard. You want to be understood. And it's the duty of whoever that you are coming to be sensitive enough to know, okay, this is what this person is going through. This is what he wants at that point in time. In what some videos ago, I talked about these stages of distress, and I mentioned shock, emotional overwhelmed, feeling readiness for feeling better, and problem solving. So you should need to understand each stage of the person to know when to come in. And validation is most welcome, and is most very important and aligned properly when the person is emotionally overwhelmed. Just being present and being there is what they need at that time, not trying to give them advice. And sometimes some people know what they want. You can just come up and ask them and say, okay, I've had you. Wow, that is very terrible. That's a very terrible experience. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And you say, do you want advice, or do you want to just for me to just be there and just hear what it is you have to say? And sometimes they may just say, sincerely, I just want you to listen to me. I don't care about what you have to say for now. Right, putting it bluntly. So yeah, so that it was. I'm very so surprised that this scenario played out quite very clearly, and Job had to say it very plainly in verse 26. He says, do you think, yeah, you are convincing me here? Like, do you think your words are convincing? The question is very striking when he said, do you think your words are convincing? When you disregard my cry of desperation, do you think your words are convincing? Do you think your words are convincing? So when you try to give someone advice, or you want to you think you're helping somebody, and they say in their heart, do you really think you are helping me here now? Like, it's not about you, it's about me. Is what they need at that point in time is validation, and that is very, very important. That is tremendously very, very important. It can never be emphasized. It can never be overemphasized. Now, let us look at, you know, the psychological and the behavioral aspect of um, validation. The life-saving power of validation in crisis. A simple phrase like "I hear you" or "You are not alone" can interrupt a suicidal thought. Studies in suicidal prevention show that empathy and listening are among the strongest protective factors. Mental health hotlines are built on validation, first response, not problem solving. Not problem solving. I want to emphasize number two, where it says "Stu- studies in suicidal prevention show that empathy and listening are among the strongest protective factors. They are among the protective factors. These are studies on suicide, right? And it has been established that validation, empathy, listening are among what, you know. Just like, think about it. Someone that wants to take his life, and he comes up to you and begin to share his. Okay, let me just paint this scenario where your friend parent is in the middle of a divorce. His brother or his sister is terribly ill. He lost his job, and things are generally not going well in his or her life, and they are thinking of taking their life. It has lingered so long, and they think of taking their life. They think of committing suicide. Then, when most of the time they may not want to tell somebody about it, then you are sensitive enough to notice that something is wrong, and you come up with a conversation starters, and the people begin to pour themselves out, and you're like, wow, that's terrible. You are very strong for you to have gone through these things, and you are still standing. Wow. Like, can you imagine? They will feel so seen, and that alone can prevent them from taking their life. Yeah, as you know, as simple as that may be, that alone can, save them from taking their life. So that's what it's trying to say, that studies in suicidal prevention show that empathy and listening are among the strongest protective factors. And you can imagine, even mental health hotlines, the first thing they do is to validate it, not trying to solve the problem. Then the obvious thing might be they want to solve the problem, but the first thing they do is to, say, are you okay, are you fine, or don't, to validate it and to, make you feel seen and understood. Make you feel seen and understood. What happens when validation is absent? What happens when validation is absent? We will look at the psychological outcome and the behavioral science. Behavioral psychological outcome when validation is absent, to show you how important validation is and how terrible invalidating someone is. It says psychological outcomes are chronic loneliness, learned helplessness, self blame, suppression of emotion, leading to psychosomatic symptoms. Then the behavioral signs are social withdrawal, aggression or irritability, tendencies, dependencies on unhealthy relationship for emotional relief. For emotional relief, how to practice emotional validation. Listening fully. Listening fully cannot be overemphasized. Just some people, I notice some people who just, they don't listen. When you begin to tell them about what you are going through, and yeah, they are just waiting to give an answer. Then when they are given opportunity to talk, they go on and on and on, sometimes for hours. Then you begin to notice from all those things that thing they are saying is, they're just giving the opinion. It's not about, it's about them at that point in time. They are trying to feel good, just talking so long. So listening fully cannot be overemphasized. Reflect on feelings. Try to, reflect on their feelings. Try to be in their shoes. That is empathy. Trying to be in someone's shoes. Trying to know what the person is feeling at that point in time, and knowing how to come in and, what to do about their situation. Then avoid judgment. Very important. You must avoid judgment. Avoid judgment. Don't, try to fix immediately or rationalize their pain. Very important. Don't try to rationalize their pain. They need empathy. You see, empathy cannot be overemphasized. I tell you. Now, be present. Your silence can be powerful. Let your presence speak. Be present. Your silence can be powerful. Just be there. Let them know for sure that you are there. And of course, they'll feel good. Now, the most important thing of all these things is to know that people want to be seen, people want to be heard, people want to be understood. And there's no other person in this world who can make you feel this way than the Holy Spirit. The Bible even called him the great comforter. The great comforter. So sometimes when you want to help somebody, you are trying your best from your own resources or what you know or what you understand about their situation. You want to be there. You want to, be wise enough to give them the best that they need at that point in time. But deep down in your heart, you know that in with Jesus in their lives, they will be better, right? He may not completely remove or immediately remove, or sometimes do remove whatever it is they are going through or the challenges they are passing through. But with Jesus in their lives, right? With Jesus in their lives, they feel that comfort, they feel His presence, right? When someone is in deep distress, they need your presence. They need you to be there. Now imagine when they have the presence of God and they feel His presence. That is cannot be compared to what you can give them at that time. No matter who is present or no matter who is in the room or no matter who is present with them, Jesus' presence supersedes all of them. So I can't overemphasize the need for Jesus. The need for Jesus. Jesus is the best therapist. Jesus is the best psychologist. Jesus is the best, best physician. Whatever it is, and when His presence is fully there, you feel His presence fully there, and you feel His comfort. It goes a long way, making someone to be less suicidal, not even being suicidal at all, and you know to feel understood and to feel heard. So yeah, thank you very much for today. Thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.